Ronald Reagan, America's 40th president, was considered to be quite witty. His words had this amazing ability to have a lasting impact. Some believe it went back to his days as an actor, but most knew it went back even further. Ronald Reagan began his career as a radio broadcaster in Davenport, Iowa in 1932. In 1934, he began to broadcast games for the Chicago Cubs. There was a challenge to this job because he was not actually at the game. He would be sent by telegraph what was happening during the game, and then he would recite it to all of his listeners. In one particular game against the St. Louis Cardinals, the telegraph line went down. It was the 9th inning with the game tied 0-0. Now, Reagan recounts it this way. There were several other stations broadcasting the game, and I knew I would lose my audience if I told them we had lost our telegraph connection. So I took a chance. I had Billy Juergens hit another foul. Then I had him hit another one that only missed being a home run by 1 foot. I had him hit a foul, one back that went behind the stands and took some time describing the two lads that got in a fight over the ball. I kept having him foul balls until I was kind of setting a record for the number of foul balls hit consecutively by a player. Just then, the operator started typing. When he passed me the paper, I started to giggle. It said, "Juergens popped out on the first ball pitched." Reagan had this amazing ability to say things that were so quick and off the cuff and yet be memorable. In fact, in 1981, John Hinckley Jr. tried to kill the president by shooting him outside the hotel. They took the president to the hospital and then into surgery. And as they rolled him into the place where they were going to do surgery, he looked at everyone and said, "I hope you're all Republicans." My personal favorite, though, is when he was invited to England to meet with the Queen Elizabeth II. During a state visit to the United Kingdom, the president accepted the Queen's invitation to go horseback riding together. As the two leaders rode along, the Queen's horse suddenly began to expel gas loudly in sync with each step. Of course, the Queen was mortified and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. President." "No problem, Your Majesty," Reagan said. "I thought it was the horse." Now, who gets away with that? This was probably one quality that allowed him to be elected as president. I think it's fair to say that most people do not have the ability to say something so quickly, make it memorable, and make people laugh. Usually, it's totally the opposite. People speak too quickly and wish they hadn't. They end up putting their foot in their mouth. Now, James says, you must all be quick to listen and slow to speak. There's this moment in time, this gap between hearing something and saying something. It's in this moment of time where decisions are made. James knew that people tended to speak too quickly and light a fuse of anger. Where Ronald Reagan had an ability to use the moment to better the situation, most people don't. In fact, do your words make situations better or worse? I think we need to calibrate this week by watching how people react to our words. If they're not reacting positively, then slow down and listen more. Try to understand what the person is truly trying to say before speaking. Someone once said in the Old English, "Listen thrice, think twice, speak one." Ask the Lord to help you slow down and say something that will have a lasting and positive impact. So until next week, remember, don't just take life as it comes, calibrate and shape it as you go. Thank you for following Calibrate. Share it with someone you know. Take a moment and review us and give us a good rating on iTunes, Google Play, Facebook, or YouTube.